But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary. And you're gonna have to keep on saying that.
I see they tryna beat me, but they can't. I'm black, getting gold like a saint. I'm unstoppable like a tank. Run up, get done up, run up, get done.
All right, shalom, family.
Shalom.
I hope everybody's having a great Sabbath. So, Shabbat Shalom. We are recording this on the Most High's dedicated day. Here with my father. I thank the Most High that he graces with his presence. My father, William, my brother, Yirmiyahu, affectionately known as G. G is with us. And as you know, we talk a lot about patriarchy. We talk a lot about fathers. We talk a lot about the path, that ancient path that we have to return to. So I've shared my perspective. So I figured that I would, just invite my father in to give us some wisdom from all of his years, having grown up with his father, and to share that. So I had put out a post on Facebook where, before I do that, let me just acknowledge, I honor the Most High. Thank him for his only begotten son. I thank him for allowing me to be the son of William, who was the son of Daniel, who was the son of Freeman, who was the son of George. I also thank him for my beloved matriarch, my mother, who born me to the world. And she did not abort me. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And it wasn't a miscarriage. So that being said, jump into the dialogue. So Pops, I had put out a post on social media about how in our culture, and when I say culture, I'm referring to the West, being here in the United States, how there's not a high value placed on a father being in the home. And, I feel like that was intentional and by design. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts on that, from experience, I'm saying that was a direct hindrance. It was a situation set up to take the father out the home. The father is so important in the home because, he's the one that should provide the leadership and guidance to his children. You understand? Which, especially boys and so on, teach them to understand that, give them that leadership and guidance so they can grow up and be men to teach their children. You understand? And in other words, we see so much crime and children out here joining these gangs and this and that. These things wouldn't happen if we provide the proper leadership and guidance to them, understand, and keep them busy in different activities, sports and things, but most of all, you understand, recognizing the Most High.
Yes.
You understand, and praying that he will lead and guide them in all things. You understand? And when we do this, that's where the Father come in and help teach them and keep them on course, in focus, what I call it, being in focus with the Most High. You understand? Because this conspiracy goes so far back for the last, I can speak, me being an 80-year-old person, I can speak that this conspiracy goes all at least 70 years back when I seen the black woman, you understand, being given what they call a welfare. They was giving her like $8 a month. And one of the stipulations in
I wonder what that would be equivalent to in today's terms, but go ahead.
Well, listen,
$8 a month.
$8 a month. And what they did, they had these, in order for them to get the $8 a month, they couldn't let the man in the house. Because if the man be in the house, you understand, then he could not. They didn't want the man because that would teach his children, make them stronger. You see, a child is most respectful of a mother. A mother is really a main player in all this. But it takes a man, you understand, backing and supporting that woman. You understand? Even I, at my age, understand, like my mother. Discipline is so important too. Please, everybody understand. I don't care what the world say. You better make sure you have your children walking in the right direction. You got to discipline them sometimes.
Yes.
You understand? You can't put them in a corner. you wasting your time if you're doing it like that. You understand? You got to discipline, but you got to start these things from birth.
Right.
From birth.
Start off early.
Yes, right. Because if you wait and think you're gonna discipline them at 13, it's not gonna happen. Yeah, they're gonna rebel. That put you in jail. Yeah. You understand? So we got to start. That's where the man come in. He and the wife is one, bringing his children forth as being strong, God-fearing children. You understand? So that's a little something that I can give. You understand, from my experience and so on. And like, we just stay in focus and trust the Most High, His leadership and guidance.
Right.
And we pursue by teaching that we've been taught by the Word of God.
Right. Very good. Toda for sharing that.
Let me add a few things to what he was saying.
Yeah, come on.
Like with the welfare system, that it taught the woman that now she don't have to submit to a man, she only had to submit to the government.
Right.
And that's all she had to do, submit to the government, and the government went there every day to kind of coach her along the way. And so now it produced this independent, I don't need a man, but I need the government though.
Right.
And that's what it produced. And see, and I think when it all boils down to it, the black woman is the woman who bought this bill of goods more than any other nationality on the planet. Yeah. Why? Because we didn't have a strong culture to lean and depend on. Because you don't see the Mexicans saying that they don't need a man.
Yeah.
You don't even see the white woman. You got a few on the fringe that say they don't need a man. But for the most part, they believe in patriarchy.
Yes.
They absolutely believe in patriarchy. They'll attend a feminist meeting, but at the same time they'll go right home and submit to their husband. And the black woman is the one who's buying these bill of goods that's leading our community into the gutter.
Yes. I agree with that wholeheartedly. A lot of the feminist dogma and the women that they put out front to push that, a lot of them do it from behind the veil of a marriage.
Yes.
Even if, like, we were talking about it, even, Beyonce, she's shouting out, all my single ladies, but you got a man. You're not single.
Yes.
But so many, unfortunately, a lot of our sisters have fallen prey to this ideology where they're trying to claim their independence, and what a lot of the feminist dogma, they come against patriarchy, meaning, and simply patriarchy just means that there's ultimately a man that's in charge. It's like that in every structure in the world. Not necessarily the man being in charge, but someone has to make the final decision.
Correct.
Now, if he is a good husband and a good patriarch, obviously he takes the wisdom of his wife into account before he makes the final decision.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not just ruling in a tyrannical, dictatorial way. They presume that our version of patriarchy is the exactly same of our oppressors, i.e. the white man, when, he didn't give his woman the right to vote. Yeah. He didn't give her certain things that they felt like would have made her equal to him. So now she has this fault or this ought against him. And unfortunately, our women presume that we're going to have that same mindset in trying to rule over our women and ruling over our children. But that's not what we put forth.
Yes.
We say that a husband, a patriarch, has to be and should be the most kind, the most gentle, the most forgiving, the most patient person in the whole house. Why? Because what he exemplifies, those that he is serving, they'll be able to emulate that same behavior.
Yes.
But if I haven't been kind and patient with my sons, I can't expect them to have that behavior. Correct. Because they were never taught it. So to Pop's point, he made a phenomenal. He made some, some great points in that this is this overarching conspiracy to destroy the home. So the question is, who benefits from the destruction of the quote unquote black family? Who benefits from that?
Corporate America.
How so?
Because we know that women make the, especially in single homes, women make the decision on where the purse is going, where the money is going. So now, if you don't have a man to show some prudence, and you don't have a man in there to say, look, maybe we need to wait. We're not going to buy these things at this time. We're going to save our money and start thinking about our future instead of thinking about the now, thinking about this vacation because you want to post some photos on Instagram. That's because that's what it's for. A lot of times you see people spending money to give everybody else this perception of how they are.
Well, I don't want to make it seem like I just want to insert that all women don't have that mindset.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying? So we don't want to like argue extremes because that'll invalidate the point. You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
But you said corporate America does benefit.
Yes.
So go back down that rabbit hole.
So the example that I was using that because all of it goes back to them. Corporate America benefits by the man not being in the home. So now you have where women are spending, a woman is spending the money on things that maybe a man would say, let's save this. Let's do something else. Let's reallocate this money to something else that'll be beneficial to the family instead of spending it on something short term. So them getting the man out the picture gets them to have the woman spending their dollar in their stores instead of that man saying, look, no, let's grow us a garden. Let's try other ways in order to save our money.
Right. Now, I'm sorry, go ahead, Albert.
And like Jeremy is saying, like Christmas and so on, most men know that that's a waste of money because when you go out here using credit cards and so on, going in debt for the next year, you understand, on Christmas and so on, this is money that they're making off of you.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest conspiracies I understand is when they flooded our neighborhoods with drugs, and they took drug users and made them criminals.
Yes.
Now these are drug users. They didn't send them to a rehab. They don't have no interest in sending them to a rehab. They don't want you. They don't want. They tag you as an ex-felon. You cannot vote. You're a felon. You can't vote and so on because voting is power. You understand? They say you can't vote. Although some says it's irrelevant. You understand?
It's to each his own.
Yeah.
But you understand the most important thing. You should be able to vote and do these different things. They put these drugs in there. They tag you and give you 100 years to get rid of you. You understand? And they're saying, and I know you. Hey, then they go up there and storm the Capitol and get 3 months probation. So you see the double standard here. You understand? They can destroy democracy and everything else. You understand? And get a few months probation. You understand? Whereas you a drug user, they're gonna give you 20.
Yeah.
So you see the double standard. It's all about the destruction of that black man. This conspiracy continues today in any form, and for years and years, you can walk into a bank trying to get a loan to start a small business. You black, you're not gonna get that loan.
Yeah. So that's a good point. Hold on, can I jump in right there?
Come on.
And because we talked about who benefits from the destruction of the black family. Yes, the woman may be out spending money in a way, but men do the same thing as well. Now, I look at it as well, if we can move it forward in terms of destruction of and destroying just the aggregation of wealth. If it's only this one person, this woman,
Absolutely.
And now she's the only thing that she has is the resources, and she's going from check to check to check. Now, in divorces, we know that the court will absolutely destroy a black man. I mean, if it's giving her alimony, child support, taking all the bills, that is the number one way in that a home or a family will be destroyed from a wealth accumulation standpoint. Just one simple divorce. And so I'm not even going to go down the road of why, just considering maybe marriage certificates may not be the best, maybe not be in the best interest of our people. That's a whole nother conversation, and maybe we'll come back to that. But I purely want to deal with the fact that we cannot accrue wealth individually. It takes a group. Every other culture operates as a group. Now, it may be the quote-unquote nuclear family. Nuclear family where you have a husband, a wife, and those children. That I think that the nuclear family model is being destroyed. We're here today, and we have 4 generations of men here today. And we're trying to link arms so that we can all be stronger together to help one another to get to that next level, as well as to build wealth. Can you guys maybe deal with that, how working together, or how a man being in the home, having either him working 2 jobs or having multiple incomes would benefit in aggregating, accumulating wealth for our people, because we're at the bottom. We're the tail and not the head. Yet we say that we're Hebrews and we're the head and not the tail. Yet we're unable to look at any metric outside of us getting spiritual to prove that. Now, we know the curses. We're supposed to be in a certain position. But at what point do we start to do what the Father has told us to do in terms of family structure so that we can get back to that place?
Okay, I would say when it comes to that aspect, for one, I know when we grew up, it was all about once you turn 18, you graduate high school.
Oh, man.
You got to get out the house. You either join the military, or you going to college, or you getting out.
Listen, man, I just talked about that last night. I was just talking about that last night on Facebook. Like, is it time for us to reevaluate that?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
It is most definitely being reevaluated, where I'm going back to more of a biblical aspect where my sons will be in my house forever. And what that means is I first, as a man, I have to prepare a place. And once you prepare that place, now all of us, as my sons grow, all of our incomes is going to one place. And as I build this place, I'm building an inheritance for them. And once I'm going, it goes to them. So once all of our income, so say if I'm working 2 jobs, if my wife is working, if my son, once he's of age, he's working, that's 3 incomes in a home. So just say each person is making $50,000. That's $150,000 a year.
Right.
And that's on the low end. So instead of me just working, or me and my wife, we're making $100,000. That's $50,000. My son is out on his own making that amount on his own, but now he's paying for a car. He's paying for his house note. He's paying a separate electric bill.
Yeah.
Instead of all of us coming together and just paying this one bill, he may still have a car, but that's all he has to pay for. Now, we can save our resources to do something else, to acquire more land, to acquire cattle, to acquire whatever is needed to take our family to the next level, or to pay for me and my oldest son. Our youngest son could come and say, okay, we're going to put our youngest son, we're going to pay for his college. He's going to be a veterinarian to help these animals around here.
You're talking good, man.
So now I don't have to pay for a veterinarian anymore. I have one in house. So that's less money I'm spending on the upkeep of my animals. So that's what I add. So I would say more income in one house, because we see the Mexicans do it all the time. I live next door to them.
Yes.
It'd be 5 or 6 families staying in one house. In one house. And what they'll do, they'll pay for their house. And what they'll do, they'll buy another house.
So you feel like we can use that model
Correct.
to try to help us get out of this sunken place that we're in, because statistically we're at the bottom. So you're saying by maybe even multifamily or multi-generational living,
Multi-generation, and that's
that
what I'm
we'll
buying.
be able to overcome some of the other issues that we have with gaining wealth.
Yes, I would say multi-generational, and that's how we can change the narrative from being at the bottom.
Right.
Because we all know you have to get some land. You got to have some soil. You got to have some soil in the game. So I think acquiring land is most definitely important, because if you don't have anything else, you got your land.
Right.
So from my land, I can have livestock on my land. I can have a garden in my land. So I've created this avenue where I don't have to depend on anybody else to eat. I got everything I need to sustain myself right here on this land.
Yes.
So that cuts out a bill in itself.
Mm-hmm. It also it requires a lot of work, and there's a lot of there's a learning curve
Absolutely.
for a lot, but that's the benefit of having a community, having other brothers that may be more skilled in that area that can help flatten the curve and get you and assist you in learning so that you can do those things. And
Yes.
that requires a network. You were going to say something, Pops?
You know, I was just thinking the way we come up years ago. It took a community
Yes.
to raise a child. The first thing parents have to do is teach their children to respect,
Yes.
especially elders and
Yes.
so on. And when you teach your children this, the community can look at the child, and the child will get in line.
Right.
Because that older lady or person, they
I know
tell
your
your
folks.
mama, you
Yeah.
understand, and so on, and hey, this is something gonna be done about it. We, as the generations we live in, this generation we're living in, we got to stop running around here wanting to kill somebody because they tried to tell your child don't do something
Yes.
bad.
Right.
It's time out for this foolishness, you understand, and get together as human beings. That's why families, when they come together, it's almost like what you're saying about I use the word community. Say if families right here, if every child, you understand, respected their older brothers and sisters and so on, and keep an eye on one another as they come up.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And the parent back this, and we had a genuine interest in our children, our families, and so on. We must bring them forth, and the young ones understand. If you need a butcher in the family, then go to butchering school. Send somebody to do something special in this family, so that y'all can come together and be very successful. Be
Right.
very successful. We stick together. Whether you got to pool that money. It's time out throwing that money away.
Right.
Out in the clubs and this and that.
No, we don't do that. we don't do that.
Well, bro, it goes to something that you were saying even earlier when we was talking about how when we were segregated, we had our own infrastructure, and so when we integrated, it destroyed our infrastructure in our neighborhoods.
That's right.
So now,
And I drive.
and our drive,
Yeah.
absolutely. So now, in order for us to build a nation, you're gonna have to have certain trades in place.
Right.
You're gonna have to have. In building a nation, you're gonna need a food source,
Yeah. Hospital,
a hospital,
banking system.
banking system. What else? You need a way to forge weapons.
Forged weapons, yeah.
Yeah, you need these things.
Yeah.
You need someone, a mechanic,
Yeah.
plumber.
It's a lot of things.
It's a lot of things that you need, basic skills that we used to have, and we used to lead in these industries.
Yeah.
Because at one point in time, we could get these certificates out of high school. But they saw
stopped
that.
Yeah, they stopped that.
They stopped it.
Yeah.
And now they even they look down on it if you have just a blue collar job as a plumber.
A trade.
A trade.
Yeah.
Oh boy, you work on cars, boy, you're a grease monkey.
Yeah, that's right. But they all take their cars to the shop.
To the shop.
Yeah.
They don't say that when they take their car to the shop,
To the dealership.
Toyota, Lexus dealer, whoever they may have, and they get paid thousands of dollars off you.
No, these are factory trained technicians. Yeah.
So we have to get back to the basics. We're talking about building a nation. As Israelites, we got to get back to the fundamental trades in order to build a nation.
Yeah.
And we started out the conversation in regards to the necessity of fathers.
Correct.
That's the foundation for me, that if we can't come together as families and then link arms with other families,
Correct.
then it's all going to be a wash, because you could be raising a son, you could have grandsons that if they take all of their intellectual prowess, intellectual property, their know-how, and they give it back to the system for gain. It's nothing wrong with profiting, but you have to know, who am I loyal to? And if you're loyal to the system, then the system will accept you and chew you out, versus saying, you know what, I'm going to be loyal to my people group, because we see that all over the world. You can do a case study on a lot of the Chinese Jamaicans that are born in Jamaica. They raise up these children. They may have a Jamaican mother and a Chinese father. These children end up being loyal to mainland China, and they'll put them in positions of power. Then they'll begin to turn and shift, if it's the banking industry, if it's the politics, to favor
China.
another out group, China, versus the native people that are in the land. So we have to clearly know who we're loyal to and how we're going to move going forward. Before we can even talk about nationhood, we got to start with family.
Family
So
starts first.
you
Absolutely.
spoke to something, Pops, that resonated about teaching our young sons and our daughters respect
That's
for
right.
their elders. It doesn't matter if that person is a day older than you, because the Most High chooses your position in the earth. When you're born, He chooses that. So if somebody is a year older, you show them the respect that's prerequisite. Don't come up and act like you are equal to my father and you a 30-year-old man. I have a problem with that.
Absolutely.
But I understand that the person didn't raise you right. You wasn't raised right. So how can we get back to some of those principles, Albert?
Well, we're working on that right now. You understand? In order, we have to just come together and start from this point. If you hadn't already started teaching your children and so on, you understand, and holding them to that fact of respect all people. You understand? Keep your ears open to learn and so on. And like one thing we were saying, each child in your family, if you will think about it in the beginning, to see what you really need, educate these children, lead them from birth to be what you want them to be.
Yes.
You understand?
I believe in that.
And that will help to really bring the family up when you got what you need in the family.
Right.
You understand? Whether it's your child or your child, when families come together and everybody's contributing, you understand? You can really grow. But the basis, it all starts from birth. The basis, teach that respect, that these children will really listen and be a part of it.
Yes.
And like what y'all begin today is going to really benefit them for generations to come.
Okay.
We're not going to live forever. You understand? And if you can show the children where they can have a good life, but teaching them to stick together, you understand, and respect, they can grow.
Yes, sir.
We all can grow, for real. You understand? Take sacrifice on our behalf, on everybody's behalf. You understand? But we can do it. That's my little bit.
Toda.
It starts. I 100% agree. It starts in the family.
Right.
When we grew up, it was a must that we said, yes, sir,
Yes, ma'am.
No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. To anybody who was older than us, anybody who was in elder position, that showed you, it gave you that sense of order. They are above me, you know, and it gave you that sense of knowing, okay, I just can't talk to this person any kind of way. And so we've gotten away from that a lot. You know, I still, you know, I know we still make sure our sons and daughters reverence elders as no sir and yes sir, no ma'am, yes ma'am. But I think just small things like that give you a perspective. Okay, I can't. It's order. Because I know even when I was young, you know, growing up where we grew up, I had a potty mouth. I had a little trashy mouth, but not around any adults. I may talk, you know, somewhat grown when I was with my peers, but soon an adult came, well, we're straighten up quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't use those words because we had a level of respect for when an adult entered the room or when an adult even came around, and we didn't have to know them.
But here's the thing, you didn't feel comfortable doing it around an adult because the adults that you grew up around didn't do it.
Didn't do it.
So,
Absolutely.
But if the adults, your parents, all those around you are using that language, that's just commonplace.
Yes.
You don't feel a need to withhold from doing that because you think that is normal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But then that was going to get to my second point where it has to be patterned.
Yes.
Respect has to be patterned, and your children see you respecting your elders. They need to see you showing respect to your brother, even showing respect to people you don't know. And when they see that, it's a learned behavior.
Right.
It's a learned behavior. Right. So they are therefore show respect to their peers. They'll show respect to their elders.
Yes. Very good. Because I'm wearing the Go Lightly family name.
That's right.
That is not my name. I was given that name. I hadn't earned it. That name belongs to my father.
Absolutely.
And it belonged to his father.
That's right.
Daniel. And it belonged to Freeman. And
Yes.
it belonged to George.
Yes.
So we're moving in the vein of these great men, trying to earn our place as an honorable group of men. So that ultimately, if our fathers and mothers have taught us the ways of the Most High, we will reflect them if we do what our fathers have told us to do, which is a reflection of the Most High Father.
Hallelujah.
Right.
It all flows together, and that's what we want to begin to do. I mean, to share with people so that it is spiritual. But it's more than that. If you can't practically apply what you're teaching, then what value is it? If when I leave, my sons can no longer walk in this way, or they choose not to walk in this way, I look at it as my fault.
Yes.
There's always going to be an outlier. There's always going to be that thing that's possible. But my goal is to make sure that I have an heir on the earth. I can't do that without a wife. I can't do that without a strong woman that echoes what I'm saying to that son, because a wife tells a child who you belong to. That's your daddy. You listen to him. That father comes in and then he claims that child and says, yes, you're mine. And he gives that son or that daughter an identity. Are we giving those that have come from us an identity that they know is greater than the dominant culture? That's what we're going to continue to discuss and try to push our people to look at it just a little bit differently, because patriarchy is the way of the kingdom. It's a reason why this information, this ideology is coming out so strong.
Yes.
Because now it's time. We talk about the nation. We can't get there
Without a family.
without our fathers. And how dare you invoke the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the patriarchs, if you don't acknowledge your patriarch. You cut your line, and the Most High is not having it. So honor your father and your mother. It is a requirement.
Yes, it is.
So Any last words?
Go ahead, Hop.
You said it all as far as I'm concerned.
Y'all
I'm
said
with
it
you. I'm
all.
with you guys. Now, you go ahead, son. You speak. I'm with y'all. I mean, seriously, I am.
Yeah, I think that.
Because I'm looking at the generations here, and I want to see. I want to see his family really grow and be successful.
Yes, sir.
You understand? The only way we can really do this, each child coming behind us, they must be. Let me see, what's the word? We must dedicate them all to some type of
Vocation and
vocation, trade, or
career.
something.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You understand? In order to, but we can have it all right here. And some of you have some of the smartest wives it is. You understand? It supports you. It supports the family. So I look forward to going forth. You know, you understand?
Toda, thank you for sharing. G.
I just think it's a must for us to. We really have to change as a collective and put an emphasis on black family, being intentional with your seed, as we were speaking on earlier. Not just putting your seed in anywhere and to everyone. And when you put your seed in the right soil, it will produce good fruit.
Okay.
Amen.
Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, Shalom family. We appreciate you guys. May the Most High bless your house and strengthen you. And tune in next time. We're gonna talk about a little bit more. Revolutionary Patriarchy family. Follow us on YouTube. Please take a moment, like, share the video. It's our intent to grow and to scale so that we can get this out to more people. All right, y'all. Shabbat Shalom.
But when I
Shabbat
leave, you
shalom.
remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary. And you're going to have to keep on saying that.